Not this simply thing I want to say. I think it's time for a former painter to be governor of the state of Washington. I've had a lot of jobs in my life. I've driven bulldozers in Bellevue. I've driven concrete trucks. I've run jackhammers. I've waited tables. I've prosecuted drunk drivers. I've taught community college classes. But the job I had that taught me to respect work was painting houses. My dad was a teacher during summers. He painted houses. He taught me how to paint houses in White Center, Burien area. He taught me the value of work. He taught me to keep a full brush, prepare your surface, and check for quality. No holidays, no excuses, no holidays. And ever since, in my time in public life and otherwise, I've valued work. And now I intend to be a governor who's going to get up every single morning dedicated to the proposition we got to get 300,000 people back to work. And here's the commitment I want to make. When I'm governor of the state of Washington, let me make sure I check this. When I'm governor of the state of Washington, we're going to paint Washington State with this color. And the color of this paint is employed and working. And it's a plan to get 300,000 people back to work. And it's a plan dedicated to a couple of propositions. One of those propositions is that all work and all workers deserve respect. Whatever your job is, it deserves respect. Because if we're going to have a middle class, we've got to have a state that respects all work and all workers. That's why the first thing I'm going to tell you is that when I'm governor, the virus of Wisconsin is not going to come into the state of Washington. Now, our job creation plan is based on a second principle. And that's the principle that we have something very special in the state of Washington. And that's the spirit of innovation. This is what we do in this state. We invent, we create, we build. We invent whole new industries. We led a technological revolution in aerospace. We led a second technological revolution in software and the internet. And now we're going to lead technological revolutions in clean energy, biotechnology, in new forms of agricultural work. And when we do this, all workers are going to have a shot at a middle-class dream in the state of Washington. And here's what I mean by this. Today we have some leaders from the Marginal shipbuilding company in Tacoma. They are leading a new technology where we can actually have electric, hybrid, lithium-ion battery-run tugs, perhaps for the United States Navy. These will be the first electric tugboats made in the United States that can actually push around aircraft carriers based on battery power and have no pollution whatsoever. Now, when you think of all the people who will be involved in that high-tech trade, it is engineers that develop the lithium-ion batteries. It is marine architects that design the ship. But it's also welders, it's shipwrights, it's teamsters delivering the product. It's the whole cast of characters that are involved in the production of these high-tech products. And we have a vision for the state of Washington that's going to get everybody to work from stem to stern. Now, our plan is not based on ideology. It's based on what works in the state of Washington. Let me give you an example of what I mean by this. Right now, today, we've got great research colleges, right? We do really good research at the University of Washington, WSU. And I want to note that I am in a perfect marriage, a marriage of honesty and cougar. I just want to note that. But we're not getting spin-offs from these colleges to start businesses as fast as we should. If we took new research and in fact put it into new businesses half as fast as the University of Utah, we would create $3 billion worth of economic activity in this state. And I have a plan to fix that, to do that. So we have a plan that is set to help this entire state. And as a person who's lived on both sides of the Cascades, I helped solve some water problems in Yakima. I helped get apples into Japan on the east side. And on the west side, I'm very proud of the fact that we helped land thousands of jobs for the Boeing company to make sure we're building the next tanker right here in the state of Washington with the best aerospace workers. I'm proud of that accomplishment. We're going to put people back to work on both sides of the Cascade Mountains. And you've got a plan to do just that. Now, to do this, we know we need highly skilled workers. I just met some of the great apprentices we have in this project right now with the painters in the apprenticeship program. And we've got to have an improved K through 12 system to feed people into these apprenticeship programs as well. And when I'm governor, we're going to have a no excuses policy. We're going to have an expectation that every single child graduates from high school, so they'll be ready for apprenticeship programs. We're going to get more skills center for people to really learn the trades in high school, so they'll be connected to high school. This is a program to make sure every child is given a shot at a middle class wage, and we're going to make sure that happens. Now I'm going to mention one thing, and I'll stand for questions. I was I did a job shadowing in Renton last week with a woman who's a member of the SEIU. She provides home health care. And she was providing home health care to this couple, a 75-year-old woman who had an amputation. Her husband is a guy who's having a little trouble walking right now. He carried hod. He was a laborer for something like 35 years, okay? This is a guy who carried weight for 35 years. I can hardly imagine doing that kind of work. And that person deserves respect. And they deserve a decent retirement, and they deserve good medical and health care. We here today are going to elect a governor who's going to make sure that we provide health care for people in the state of Washington, whatever your job is, so you can get preventative health care. If you're a senior citizen, you can get help with your prescription drug benefits. I believe in health care reform. We're going to fix the health care system. For the laborers for 35 years, you should be able to get health care when you're a senior citizen. I'm dedicated to getting that job done. So I want to thank everybody here. I want to ask you to help me make sure we win this race. I hope you'll talk to your friends, whatever union or non-union they're in. We got to make sure people what is at risk in here, and that's the middle class. Look, there's a difference between my opponent and myself. I don't believe in taking the low road. I don't believe going down to the wages and environmental standards of the Deep South. I believe taking the high road to make sure we have high-paid, high-skilled, middle-class wage jobs in the state of Washington. We should take the high road. Thank you. I want to ask you to give us a hand, talk to your friends. If you got a good idea, let me know. Let's go win this for the hard-working people of the state.